Hello, my name is Sean. Welcome to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about Mercedes-Benz EQXX. Before we get into today's episode, I want to talk about our crazy challenge of the year, our 100,000 subscriber challenge. Yes, that is what I'm trying to do this year for a challenge, is get 100,000 subscribers. Can we reach that goal? I don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see by the end of the year. So if you're going to help me reach that goal, subscribe to the channel. That's all you really have to do. And with that said, let's get to the episode. Mercedes EQXX is Mercedes showcasing their future EV platforms. This is what the EVs for Mercedes is going to be like, and it's pretty damn interesting compared to this current EV, the EQS, which a lot of people aren't really a fan of. The design leaves a lot to be desired, but the tech in it and the interior is actually quite amazing. So much to the point that it outdoes the S-Class, which is Mercedes' flagship car. Now, the EQXX design is far superior than the EQS. Like, bar none, this actually looks like a modern Mercedes. It looks just like, I'd say, the Mercedes AMG GT 4-door. The only difference is the EQXX was built to be aerodynamically efficient, which you can tell by the long tail design features. And it's not overly aggressive with its design. This car only has vents where it's needed to keep the airflow moving around the car for drag coefficient purposes. But looking towards the way this car tapers off towards the rear end tells me that the headroom for rear passengers leaves a lot to be desired. Speaking of rear space, let's get into the interior, because I think this is where this car design really gets pretty excellent, because the interior space for this car is probably the best I've seen out of any Mercedes, past, future, or present. Now, I think the first thing we all notice while looking into the interior of the EQXX is the one-piece infotainment screen. The thing is beautiful, and the whole surround for the interior is actually magnificent. And unlike the EQS, which is a big massive screen in itself, this isn't four different screens under a one-piece glass. It's actually one screen, and Mercedes is saying that they're using actual video game graphics engines to design the maps and the graphics for this monitor, this screen. And I don't know how intuitive that is. I'm a gamer, but I don't know how that would work for a car. I don't know if I want my infotainment screen generating graphics the same way as my PS4 or 5 would. But that is apparently the future. I guess it would make it easier for the car's AI to communicate with the driver. I don't know yet. I don't know the technology behind this, but that is what they are saying. The car's design and interior tech isn't its most defining feature. Its most defining feature is the amount of range this car gets. This car supposedly gets 620 miles of range, which would make it the most range out of any EV car on the planet, while also not making the most amount of power. Now, the amount of horsepower this car actually makes, I could not find. For reports I did see, it says it only makes around 200 horsepower, which is not a ton. But this car isn't supposed to be lightning fast. It's not supposed to be matching the Model S Plaid. It's supposed to give you the most range possible. Now, you think that it would make that range by having the biggest, largest, heaviest batteries ever, but no, it gets its range from its lightweight and drag coefficient. This car is made out of the lightest material ever, with the frames being made out of carbon and plastic filaments, with steel and aluminum alloys in places for structural rigidity where needed. And the interior is made out of recyclable stuff, such as like vegetables and cactus parts. Yeah, strangely enough, the seats are made out of probably the most painful materials you'll probably find on the planet. And mushrooms. That's what this car is supposedly built on. All this done to save our carbon footprint. This car even has solar panels to give an extra 25 kilowatts of power, to help with the car's AC, heat, and cabin filters, and all the electronics in the car. And there's so much technology, environmentally friendly things in this car that if I was to talk about all of it, this video would probably be 30 minutes long. And we don't even know that much information about this car. But since it's only a vision car, basically a concept, the likelihood of it coming out anytime soon is very, very slim. Though Mercedes is saying the Vision EQXX technology is coming to other Mercedes EVs in the future. And if Mercedes puts this technology in all of their EVs, they will be ahead of a lot of the other EV manufacturers, because one thing that the EV market really is missing is range. That and infrastructure, but the range is what a lot of people who are into these cars really care about, how much they have to recharge and how long it takes. Now, there's going to be some fast charging, supercharging, or whatever they want to call it for this car that's probably going to be on a scale that surpasses even Tesla's supercharging. So what do I think of the EQXX? I think this is better than the EQS in design and some of the technology that's going on with it. The interior for this car is a lot better, even though I do like the way the infotainment screen is set up in the EQS. That is probably one of the best screens I've ever seen in any car set up anywhere. The EQXX runs away from the EQS with its design and its range, even though it only has around 200 horsepower. I think if they wanted to compete with somebody like Tesla, they would give a car with 1,000 horsepower that can do 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds. I highly doubt they're going to do that. But you never know with Mercedes. They're kind of competitive with that type of stuff, and they do build actual sports cars. Now, lastly, I want to say if this technology makes it to Mercedes' other EV cars, it's going to be a complete game changer. Not only from its range, but from the fact that it is a real low emissions car with most of its parts being from recyclable materials, and you'll be getting Mercedes quality, and you don't have to worry about the fit and finish like some of these other startup EV companies, even some of the more established EV companies. You know who I'm talking about. The only thing that would hold this car back and some of the other EVs from Mercedes is the pricing. A top spec EQS costs more than an S-Class while not having a traditional sedan design. The interior is excellent, but the exterior not so much. While this car looks like what you would expect from a Mercedes, and I would guess that it would sit right above the EQS at $130,000 to $150,000, and that's just a base price in my mind. And I would guess that the production version of this car would come out with more than 200 horsepower. They probably would have a max range mode that would cut that horsepower down to 200. I don't know, because, I'm not in that field, so it's not my particular area of expertise. I'm just saying. The likelihood of a long-range, affordable EV Mercedes is very slim. So, get your expectations and put them all the way up for the price of this car. So there you have it, Mercedes-Benz Vision EQXX. What do you think of Mercedes' latest Vision offering? Are you excited for the future? Are you excited for the crazy range? Do you like the design of this car? Let me know in the comments. And with that said, I'd like to bring this video to a close. So I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.